I think it's a combination of everything. Our team wasn't performing up to the expectations that I wanted it to, and it was time for a change. And wish Greg the best. Thank him for everything he did here. But it's an industry. It's a tough industry at times, and unfortunately, it came to this today.
Because after the game, he said it was like men amongst boys. I mean, did you see or hear about that quote? Do you feel the same way? I mean, 'cause you built the roster.
Yeah, well, Sarnia is a team that's built to win this year. I think they're in a different position than we are in. But yeah, the first period it was a men amongst boys. But I talked to our guys today, and that second period we scored 3 goals real quick, and I said it was a men amongst boys the other way as well. I think I've always said it all along. I believe in this team, and we have a lot of talent on this team. We just need to start getting the most out of them right now.
Why haven't you, maybe not this season, but the past couple, been able to get over the hump or live up to the expectations that you want?
I can only speak for this season. It's my first year here. I was with the Barrie Colts for 9 years before this, but that's a tough question. It's a tough league to play in. There's always good teams. There's always teams that are going to compete for championships and things like that. And I think it's just everything peaking at the right time, getting the right players at the right age, and buying into what you want to do here. And hopefully this is the start of trying to get the guys buying into what I want to do and believing what I want to do down the road here.
Why Mo? What happened there, and why'd you select him?
Mo was my Northern Ontario scout. He was working for us already within the organization, so it was pretty much an easy fit. Somebody that's been here before, used to the area, knows a little bit about our roster and myself, so it was a good fit for the rest of the year.
What do you know about him coaching-wise and what he's done?
Well, he's coached for a long time. He's coached at many different levels, the AHL, the East Coast League, the OHL. He's been through it all as a player and as a coach. He knows how to handle players. He's a positive guy, and that's the message I wanted in the room.
Are these 13 games, it's an interim role for him, are these 13 games like an audition for him? Are you going to evaluate him as you go along here for the future?
I think in this industry, you're always evaluating everybody. For sure it is. I am going to do an extensive search when the year's over, looking for the right head coach for this job, the guy that I believe can lead us to a championship, a guy that wants to be a winner, wants to be a teacher, wants to be a mentor to these young kids. And Greg did a great job with that, but it was time for a change. And this summer, yes, Mo is coming in on the short term. He will be evaluated, but I will be doing a search for a new head coach come the springtime.
What do you need the most? Did these guys lose their confidence, or what happened to them?
I think you nailed it on the head there. I think confidence and having fun coming to the rink. It's like any job. If you don't like the job you're at and you don't like getting up every day and doing that, you're going to struggle. You're going to put in the time. You're not going to give it your best effort. And some of these guys maybe just lost a little bit of passion and fun to come to the rink, and I want to instill that back in them. I know Mo's going to do whatever he can to make sure that they're having fun in what they do.
Did players come to you saying, was there an issue with Greg and the players?
Absolutely not. No, this is my standpoint. From an organization, it was just time for a change and go in a different direction. But no, the players definitely didn't have anything to do with it.
You had mentioned at the deadline, that this would never happen again, where you were sellers, so to speak, trying to get picks for the future. Was that kind of in your mindset, thinking, we're not even getting results now, so we need to change the leadership too?
Yes, it was, I guess. I'm still holding true to that statement. I don't want to be a seller anymore. We've done it this year, and we want to keep working on building forward, and we have the players here in the draft picks now to add and be a competitive team in the future. I think it's just everything put together. Not where we expected this year. Guys aren't developing the way I expected, and it was time for a change for sure.
When you say guys aren't developing, what do you want to see? I mean, were they just not showing enough growth in terms of their skills?
I think it's just taking that next step as players. The OHL is a funny league. Sometimes a guy will score 1 goal one year and he'll score 30 the next year. I think a few guys just maybe hadn't put up the year that I had thought and that they had thought, and they expected for themselves. I know it's in them. I know it'll eventually come, but maybe it hadn't happened right away. So just try to give them and the fans and the sponsors and everybody who believes in this organization and supports us and doing anything we can from an organization standpoint to try to get a competitive team on the ice night in and night out.
Because you had expected, I remember before the season, we talked about a 3, 4, 5, fighting for those spots instead of 8th. Is that kind of what you were thinking, at the beginning of the season too?
Yeah, it was. I think looking at this team on paper, and we had Dylan Sadoway at the time too, I thought for sure we'd be competing for home ice, the 4th, 5th seed. Obviously, the expectations were high, maybe a little too lofty. Maybe that's my fault, but I think the players, the skill level on this team is good enough to be there. I know we're looking at 8th right now. I talked to many GMs around the league, and they tell us they don't want to play us because they know what we're capable of. We're just not getting the best out of our players right now, and hopefully today's a changing that for sure.